Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. For more than a century, ships have been made of high-quality steel and further strengthened with materials designed to drastically reduce corrosion and degradation. But the high seas are not a particularly friendly place. And with time, even the most well-built ships inevitably meet their end. This can come either through accidents, age, excessive corrosion, or simple replacement by a newer model. But what exactly happens to these gigantic ships when they eventually outlive their usefulness? And where do they end up when they are decommissioned? Indeed, no matter the state of a ship at the time of its decommissioning, it can still be sold with a hefty price tag due to the high demand for its recyclable components. A ship takes between 2 weeks and a year to dismantle. This usually entails long, tedious, and hazardous work, requiring thousands of laborers and man-hours. The need for manual labor is one of the reasons why about 90% of all shipbreaking in the world takes place in countries like China, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Turkey. In fact, a laying shipbreaking yard in India demolishes a full 30% of the world's decommissioned ships on its sprawling 153 yards, developed on a 7-mile-long coast in Bhavnagar district. The ship-breaking process is not only labor-intensive, but has been listed among the most dangerous jobs in the world. Techniques vary from country to country and even yard to yard, but generally involves running the ship aground to allow for easier access. Once in place, workers go about salvaging every valuable material in the ship's structure. This starts with draining hydraulic fuels and oils. Next comes the removal of installed wiring and non-ferrous parts. Lastly, the remaining iron structure is cut into smaller sections for recycling. It can take 50 laborers 3 months to break down an average cargo vessel weighing around 40,000 tons. Among the chief hazards workers need to contend with are the accidental melting of toxic materials, exposure to asbestos and heavy metals, and explosions caused by leftover fuels from storage tanks. Even full collapses can sometimes occur due to the haphazard way in which workers break down the vessels. On the other side of the world, decommissioned ships suffer a very different fate. In the Western Hemisphere, old ships are often sunk to create artificial reefs. Such reefs are integral to establishing new habitats for marine life and are seen as a much more efficient and environmentally friendly form of recycling than the long, hazardous shipbreaking process. The U.S. Navy has found a way to maximize the benefit of these sinking exercises through its SINKEX program, which involves the use of decommissioned warships for live fire or torpedo practice, after which the ships are sunk. This practice has two main benefits. First, it leads to the creation of new artificial reefs to replace natural reefs that may have been damaged or destroyed by industrial activities. These artificial reefs also increase fish population and serve as dive sites. Secondly, the live fire and torpedo exercises give the naval crews a training experience that closely resembles real-life combat situations. The process of loading and firing a torpedo aboard a naval ship or submarine is not simple. Torpedoes require a healthy mix of manual and mechanical efforts to be put into firing position. Once in place, they are loaded into the torpedo tubes, which are then sealed completely to prevent leakage. These torpedo tubes are then flooded so that the torpedo can be fired without any friction as it enters the water and speeds towards its target. Over in the Australian Navy, ship decommissioning is always marked by very colorful official ceremonies, during which the ships are ushered into retirement with much reverence and recognition for services rendered. This was very evident during the decommissioning of HMAS Sydney in February 2015.
"32 years of service is a very long time in anybody's book. And to represent this nation, our people and our country, internationally and domestically over a 32-year period, firmly places this HMAS Sydney as a significant part of Australia's naval story.
Even the more recent decommissioning of HMA ships Paluma and Mermaid by the Royal Australian Navy in September 2021 was commemorated ceremoniously. With equal flamboyance, some decommissioned ships of the U.S. Navy end up as displays and exhibitions in museums and other display arenas. This is the fate of the USS Alabama. Assigned to a museum in the U.S. state that bears the same name. Others, like the HMS Victory and the USS Constitution, have been restored to full sail despite being first launched all the way back in the 1700s. Unfortunately, not all ships end up the same way. Many are simply redirected to ship graveyards, where they sit abandoned. Far from the huge scrap operations of India and Bangladesh. The owners of these yards primarily use the buried boats for spare parts, since breaking them down completely will be very costly and risky. One of the largest and most popular of such sites is the Staten Island Boat Graveyard in Rossville, USA. This yard hosts between 100 to 400 vessels, including the USS PC-1264, the first warship of its type to be manned by an all-African-American crew in 1944. Such sites are not a complete waste, however, as it sometimes serves as film sets and tourist destinations for boat lovers of all ages. Despite their flamboyance on the day of their launching, the end of every boat, ship, and mega yacht in use today can hardly be foretold. But it is worth remembering the countless voyages each vessel has made across the vast ocean of the world. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.